So here we are looking into the living room. The hallway is to the right and the light is on in it. The living room wouldn't normally look this dark, but it does to the camera. So I'm going to lighten it up here just a little bit. And so all this noise, that this is not camera noise. I mean, there might be some of it because of the low light condition, but this is a Note 8 camera that I have here. So it takes 4K videos, although when I edit them, it goes down to 1K or HD, full HD. But all this noise I saw with my eyes. So whether or not you can make out any content in this, I still saw it. And around the TV and around the table to the left of it, and I think there's a plant in the corner there, and the artwork. This noise appeared to come out, and I don't believe it just appeared to. It came out in three-dimensional space. So they are holograms, or they appear to be like holograms. So all this noise and all this twack, it would fill the room up with all this squiggling and all this movement. It appeared to create like these holographic, mostly transparent creatures around like the table with like eyes on it and mouths on them. Or something that was meant for the brain to interpret it that way. And again, regardless if you can make out any content in this projected noise or this projected twack, I saw it with my eyes unaided without the use of a camera. I didn't just simply point the camera into a dimly lit room and just look for the noise and look for patterns in the noise and look for, crazy stuff and get in a paranoid delusional schizophrenic state, suffering from 24/7 psychoses, none of which I'm actually experiencing. I saw this with my eyes, and so I pointed the camera in the direction that I saw this crap, and so that I could get footage of it. So you are experiencing what I saw with my eyes. Sometimes the colors are different. Sometimes it doesn't. It never really does it justice. So keep in mind that when I saw this, I was able to make out content that was clearer to the eye than it is to the camera. So I'm going to freeze frame it here, and I'm going to point out some things that I interpreted. You could think that could be eyes here, perhaps. There's sort of pairs of circles there, and things where there appears to be at least a pupil and sometimes an iris. And again, I saw this with my eyes unaided, without the use of a camera. That's the reason why I pointed the camera in the direction of this crap. Now, all this squiggling, all this twack, all this noise that I saw with my eyes unaided, it causes the room it sort of obscures your views in a way, and it makes the room look darker, and it makes it look like there's movement in there, and it makes it look like there's things in there. And again, I think that this was meant to be used for crises and hostage situations, so that you could, if you were like in a SWAT team, you could provide some camouflage and cover for victims or hostages, and so that you could also confuse the perpetrators, the gunmen, the terrorists, and make it harder for them to find victims, make it harder for them to shoot the SWAT team. I've seen these things lit up like a neon sign almost, with very clear holographic 3D images, and I've actually literally walked around them. Of course, I didn't have my camera at the time because they showed the best evidence when there's nobody around and when I don't have my camera on them. So again, and I'm not a liar. So this is usually some of the best footage that I can get, because they like to play around with it, and they like to fuck with people with this stuff that was meant for other purposes. And then you look even crazier when you try to show this footage to other people, and then they're like, that's just camera noise. Like, I don't see what you see. And it's like, well, you see part of what I saw, or you see what I saw with my eyes unaided. So there has to be an explanation for why I saw this noise to begin with. If this was a room that this wasn't happening in with someone that wasn't being gang stalked, it wouldn't look this noisy, and it wouldn't have these patterns in it, these things that look like eyes, or that look like mouths, or that uh, or that move. Like there's something that looks like a pair of eyes. That wouldn't happen with normal camera noise over and over and over again. And again, if it was just camera noise, I wouldn't see it with my eyes unaided. So there it looks like it could be a pair of eyes. You can even make out the irises in them. And again, the camera doesn't do it justice, but it does do it justice enough to, if you can just keep in your head that again, I saw it with my eyes unaided. So here's something that looked like there's a pair of eyes and like maybe a mouth. There's like a pair of eyes. There's a pair of eyes. There's a pair of eyes or something that could look like a face. And what's really important is it looks more like a face when you focus just on the pairs of eyes, because then the thing that could be interpreted as a mouth will look more like a mouth. So there's something that I think, and here I'm going to suggest where the eyes could be. So if you focus on just where the eyes are, then the mouth becomes something that's more interpreted in your peripheral vision as a mouth. But in any case, so this was the living room, and I would see all this squiggling all the time, and see these or mostly transparent holographic projected twack coming out from the wall. So here's something I think is more clearly the eyes. I mean, or it could be interpreted as eyes. I'll even suggest like where some facial features are. I'll do it here too. There's even some color there. You can even make out the irises in them.